I just want to talk to you real quick. My name is Leon. I'm 56 years old and I have mommy issues. I will always have mommy issues. And a lot of you say, oh my God, you're too old to have mommy issues. A man is never too old to have mommy issues. If you're dating someone and you want to know a lot about him or how he plans to treat you, ask him about his mother. There was no one in my life that ever asked me about my mother. I didn't want to talk about my mother. I was afraid. Sometimes I was just ashamed to talk about my mother. So not one woman that I ever dated or my ex-wife that I married, no one really asked me about my mother. Mommy issues are not like, oh, he's a simp, he's weak, he's stupid, he can't understand women, he doesn't like women. Those are not mommy issues. It's not like he can't date, he can't cook, he can't caress me, he can't hold me, he can't hug me. Those are not mommy issues. Those are issues, but men can get over that. They can learn. A lot of men that are like me or that were like me, what we would do is delve more into our physical attributes, our sexual prowess, things like that. And so we would skip over the things that we needed to do for our women. I know I did, and I would skip over the things I needed to do for my women, my ex-wife, and even my daughter. And so mommy issues is like, for me, it was like I miss my mom, It was at age 11, we lost our house. My parents were getting divorced. I was coming home from the 6th grade graduation. And as I came home, I looked down the street. I could see something in the front of our house. And so the closer I got to our home, I realized it was our furniture. So that morning before I left for school, I didn't know that I would never go back into the house ever again. Coming home to an empty house, coming home to my brother and sister, my mother out in front of the house with buggies full of clothes, the iron, small things, hangers. That we were taken to another home, a home that I didn't even know where I was going to. And so that was the last day that I was in that house that morning when I left. My father had already gone. My parents' divorce was in full swing, so he was forced to move out. And so I came home to an empty house. I came home to a house that I couldn't go to anymore. Came home to a house that had a big red letter on the front that said eviction notice. This was in 1977, 78. And so from there, I was forced or sent to live with a lady that I did not know. It was my mother's friend. So from age 11 on, I had mommy issues. I missed my mother. She did the best that she could. My mother was a very great woman, a very strong woman. Because of my mother, I knew how to swim. Because of my mother, I played baseball. I played football. Because of my mother, I was a Boy Scout, a Cub Scout. Because of my mother, I knew how to enjoy birthday parties, Halloween parties, Christmas. I had mommy issues because I missed my mother. I lost my mother 3 times during my 32-year naval career. When we moved out of our house at 11, I was sent to live with somebody else. When she started getting high, smoking crack in 1985, and then when she died in 2012. When I was sent to live with another lady, my mother ultimately got my sister and I back. I was probably 12 or 13 years old. So a lot of my issues started well before that, but it was really cemented in my life, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit. When I was 11, I felt discarded. And a lot of things I did throughout my life as far as relationships and my marriage stems from my childhood, the discard. When I was sent to live with another lady that I didn't know, I became quiet, the silent treatment. I was afraid to connect with women, so I started ghosting later on in life. And people wonder where the narcissism starts. It starts in your childhood, I believe, for me, neglect and abuse. And I didn't know these things, that I didn't realize that I was neglected or abused until I was 47 in therapy. That's 47 in therapy. That's why a lot of men have issues later on in life, because they don't process the neglect, the abuse, the discard. My parents never abused me. They never neglected me. Other people did. But men don't process that early on. They process it later if they get therapy. If they don't get therapy, that's when women suffer in relationships. And if a woman has daddy issues or mommy issues, that's when her man or husband or boyfriend suffers in the relationship. I have great men in my life, great friends in my life, and we talk about their moms, like Curtis Thomas, Cliff Rogers, Mike Tucker, Herb Basquiat, quite a few other men, Bill Aden. And these young men, when I was younger, when I knew their moms, we were tight, we bonded, we always respected our mother. A lot of young men today don't respect their moms. So yes, I will always have mommy issues. It's not a weakness or anything like that. It's just that I miss my mother. I miss the things that she did for me, because when she started getting high, she couldn't do anything for me anymore. And I learned in therapy that I had to be mad at the drug and not my mother. And a lot of you are mad at your mother if she's on drugs, if she's been discarded. Some of you, your mother has been beat, raped. My mother was beat and raped as well too. So I didn't understand and know what she had going on in her mind and her life until she told me. And so then I started having more understanding, a clarity about why my mother did what she did as far as getting high. She had a lot of pain. She couldn't, the only way she could deal with it was to get high and mask her pain and suppress her pain. And she developed this false sense of reality. I too developed a false sense of reality. I too masked my pain. I too suppressed my pain and my anger issues. All of these are narcissistic traits that I developed as a child. And so it became a survival mechanism for me to make it through life. Out of all the women that I dated and my ex-wife that I married, I was crazy about their moms. Their moms can get me to do anything. Anything. Leon, can you cut the grass? Yep. Leon, can you move this out the front yard? Yep. Leon, can you move the car? Yep. Leon, can you get the cat out the tree? Yep. Everything, every time their mother would ask me to do something, I raised my hand. I would do it with 100%, commitment. But my ex-girlfriends and my ex-wife couldn't get me to do those things. I looked for my mom in all of the women that I dated. I looked for my mom in all the women that I knew. I looked for my mom in all the women that I was acquainted with because I wanted that nurturing that I had missed for so long from age 11 until my mother passed away. There were some times in between that she came back around, but for the most part, she was absent, because of her drug use. And so I keep my mom with me every day. This is my mother. When my sister sent me my mother's remains, she asked me to sprinkle my mother's remains somewhere. I couldn't do it. Didn't want to let go. Could not let go. Was not going to let go. This is my mother. I talk to my mother every day. I love my mother. I hug my mother. And this is where I get my strength from. From my dad too, but that's where I get my strength from, It's like my mother did a lot for me. She still does a lot for me, believe it or not. So for those of you out there that I have mommy issues. Ladies, if your man has mommy issues, talk to him. Ask him about it. Don't make fun of him. He doesn't have mommy issues, which makes him weak or insecure or, a chump or sissy or simp. No, he misses his mom. He wants to reconnect with his mom. And I reconnected with my mother through therapy. That's why it's very important for men to go through therapy and talk about the issues that you have. It's very important that you do that. And so for 32 years, my naval career, I was upset with my mother until 47 years old, and I started therapy. And she helped me out. A little bitty short white lady got into my soul and helped me out, helped me understand my mother. So the problem I had that I connected with my ex-girlfriends and my ex-wife's mom, but I couldn't understand why I would eventually hurt their daughter, But yeah, if a man has mommy issues, ask him about it. If my brothers out there, if you have mommy issues, be honest, open up and talk about it. It's okay, Just make sure you're performing as the man, as the husband, as the boyfriend, and not somebody else. And don't suppress those problems. Don't suppress those issues. Let them out. I'm Leon Walker. I'm 56 years old, and I will always have mommy issues. But I know how to be a man. I just miss my mother. So think about that. Understand if your man misses his mother, make sure you all talk about it and let him open up, let him get it out, because a lot of us have mommy issues, but we don't let it out. All right, y'all have a great night. Thank you for listening.